All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Update, my 1000 Days Challenge. This is day 254. So let's get things started. All right, so first and foremost, you'll notice the balance remains more or less the same. There was a profit taking that was on Bitcoin, but actually took a stop loss in terms of Chainlink as well. So that's more or less balances out with a little bit of profit. But bear in mind that it was less than expected, mainly because the link do have some sort of slippage. And also for Bitcoin, I realized that my position sizing was actually less than what is expected. So the profit was actually similarly less. So that's something to bear in mind. So I'm adding a new additional check to make sure that my position sizing are correct, especially entering at prices at the relevant prices that I'm entering at. Yeah, so that's something to always bear in mind. Otherwise, you will see that what I mentioned over here, if you have entered based on this and price action, we nicely hit both of the key resistances over here. The first point actually is over here, so you can take profit around here. And another at the key horizontal daily resistance, which is over here, you can see it was strongly rejected over there. So this is, in my opinion, sort of expected because this is only the second time we retest this previous high. I would say this all-time high especially, which is the 61K mark. So we actually retested and we are seemingly getting rejection off of it, which in my opinion looks okay, simply because even though we are sort of rejected, the selling pressure was there, but then thereafter you can see this long wick pushing it upwards. So if we do consolidate over here, we could somewhat still continue this upward kind of ascending triangle pattern that I've been drawing, which you will be able to see nice on the daily chart per se. So yeah, it's still falling very nicely. On the grand scale of things, on the daily chart, we could potentially see this D could actually be moved a little bit faster. And we do see some sort of rejection on the D chart, especially if it's a little bit weaker than expected, then potentially on the third try, or even on the fourth try, we could nicely break right above it. So right now, I'll say the key resistance to actually take note is this 200 simple moving average on the 4-hourly chart itself. So previously, you can see that it was supported over here. So if we do consolidate right over this type kind of volatility kind of structure, then things will look good, be it in terms of upside breakout or in terms of downside breakout as well. So that's something I'll be very interested and keen to add in terms of more position if it does show clear signs of further consolidation and a nice clean and breakout with a volume that follows through as well. So there will be an entry based on price action itself. So otherwise, I will still be leaving my trailing stop loss. I move up from here to this break-even point itself, but that's somewhat like a mental kind of stop loss. So I only close it physically itself if prices close below it in terms of the 4-hourly chart itself. Otherwise, it's just a week, I will still remain in the position. So that's my type of stop losses. But of course, you could also have a hard stop loss whereby if prices go at this price, then you just close it and break even. Nothing wrong with that either. All right, with that said, in terms of the daily market structure on the Bitcoin thing still looks to be bullish, similarly on the 4-hourly chart. And by tomorrow, the weekly will be closing itself. And similarly, we are forming somewhat like a further indecision candlestick, but you can see the volatility is somewhat shrinking, which in my opinion is a good sign because it means that if we do break out, it will be a much stronger breakout, be it towards the upside or downside. So on the bright side, our support, key support at least 21 exponential moving average on the weekly chart is still continuously moving upwards. And it is definitely a good sign. So you can see that it actually builds upwards, reaches close to it before it breaks up, and then have a nice consolidation again. And so the longer we consolidate, the more likely that we have a stronger breakout in that perspective. So yeah, you can see that over here to here, we actually consolidated from around the middle of June in 2019 to even the end of August, which is like more than a year of consolidation itself before we have this very strong breakout period. So I do see potentially we could consolidate at any point of time in next year, this year, and stuff like that before we could actually make a decisive move towards further upside or even downside. All right, with that said, that's perhaps the end of the day. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop down below. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.